equals, and then the -2 and the negative 1/2 cancel. And then I go to square root. Now, when I go to square root, you'll notice that I'm square rooting a negative, which we know we can do. We get an I, but that is an imaginary number, which means we can't graph it. Can't graph an imaginary complex number. So if you go to square root and you have a negative, that means I don't have any x-intercepts. There are none. It's not going to pass through the x-axis. So let's graph. Vertex at -2, -1. Line of symmetry. Right through there. My y-intercept at 0, -3. Always graph the symmetric point. So the y-intercept is 2 units from the line of symmetry. So I'm going to have another point on the other side, 2 units from the line of symmetry. Plot that point. It's worth a point. No x-intercepts. And when we graph it here, you'll see why. Because it doesn't cross the x-axis. It's below it. Okay. Yes, sir?
Couldn't we have told there was no x-intercept when it said the max was -1?
Definitely. Definitely. So there's a point. If you can visualize things, you know where the intercept is, because that's the vertex, that's one of the first things you find. You know it opens down, so you can already see that it's not going to cross through the x-axis. So don't even worry about calculating them. Just write none. So, brings me to a point. If you tell me there's no x-intercepts, don't make it cross through the x-axis, because I have people tell me none, but then it crosses through the x-axis. Or they tell me there is some, and then it doesn't cross through it. So make sure your information matches your graph. Okay? All right, I'm only going to get through one more here, but we got to get through it because it's different. Okay? Okay, number A. Number A. That made a lot of sense. A. I want to know, does it open up or down? Because the A, which is the number in front of the x squared, that's an understood -1, is negative, it's going to open down. I should have probably did the other one, maybe. We'll see. I can't remember. My vertex. Now, for this type, this is where all your work is. Calculating the vertex is where all the work comes in. So you're going to do -b over 2 times A. So -4 over -2, which is +2. That's the x value of the vertex. -b over 2A. To calculate the y value of the vertex, you punch into your calculator. So this is my x, and then my y is going to be negative, parentheses, 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 6. 10? If I did it right in my head. Otherwise, you just punch that in your calculator. Is it 10? Did anybody punch it in their calculator? -2 squared is 4. Make it negative. Add 4 or add 8. Add to 10. 210. So you can just punch this in your calculator. Make sure you use parentheses or it's not going to come out right, because that negative is affected. Makes a difference. Okay. So 210 is my vertex. That's where all your calculations come in. Line of symmetry. X equals the x value, which is 2. Max or min, because it opens down, it has a max. The max is always associated with the y value of the vertex 10. Now I'm going to write this one time, and I shouldn't have to write it again because you should see it very quickly. For your y-intercept, you put 0 in for x. Now I'm going to write this on this one question. What am I going to get there? 6. If I'm going to put 0 for x here and here, all I'm going to have left is that number at the end, that constant term. So when I plug my 0 for x, it's the 6, the number at the end. And then my y-intercept is when I plug 0 for x. 0 for y, sorry. Okay, so this is the new thing here, plus 4x plus 6. Okay, so we have to solve this for y. Now, we have to solve it for y by doing any way that we know. One of them is factoring. It won't factor. We could complete the square on this. We could use our quadratic formula on this. In any of those ways, quadratic formula, complete the square, would give us our x values, like you just did on your assessment today. You solved for x. However, I've given you a shortcut. So this is where I want you to get that calculator out, what I gave you on your calculator. I'm going to show you how to use this. Now, don't think that you still don't need to know your quadratic formula, because I'll still have you using that on the goal 11.3. Okay? But I have given you a program on your calculator called Quad Form. Go to that program, so go to that PRGM button and press Quad Form. Okay, when you press the program button, just now I gotta make sure mine goes on. Okay, so you'll go to the Quad Form program, press enter, and it will say A equals question mark. Are you there? Well, just look at Caleb's real quick since you don't have it. Do you have that A equals question mark? What is my A value? -1. So put in -1. What is my B value? From my equation here, what's my B? 4. What's my C value? 6. And there's my X values in terms of decimals. So had you plugged it into your quadratic formula, got an answer, and then went to your calculator and calculated that all with your calculator, this is what you would come up with. Those are my two x-intercepts. -1.20, we'll round to 1 decimal, and 5.20. So just like we could have taken that equation, actually physically plugged it into a quadratic formula, got an answer, and then took that quadratic formula and did the calculation with our calculator, radical and all, then it would have worked. Okay, so let's graph this. We got a big number with the 10, so I'm going to go by 2s on my graph. Okay, so I have 2, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And don't be afraid to do that. I just need to make sure you mark it. So I'm going by 2s every unit. Line of symmetry, right through there. Y-intercept 0, 6. Draw the symmetric point, so 1 unit away. On the other side, don't go yet. -1.2. Remember that you're going by 2, so that's about half. 5.2, 2, 4, 5. Let's make sure it looks like a parabola when you're done. Connect.